Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and fellow participants, welcome back from our tea break. I hope all of you had a refreshing and enjoyable time connecting with your fellow participants. As we continue with our event, we have some exciting sessions and discussions at of the rest of our time together. I am delighted to welcome you to the third plenary session of our conference, where we have the privilege of hearing from a distinguished expert in the field. It is my honor to introduce our esteemed speaker of this session, Mr. Thong Yuet. Mr. Keith's impressive journey in the world of education and professional development speaks volumes about his commitment to transformative learning. He holds a degree in economics from the University of London, United Kingdom, which laid the foundation for his remarkable career. Currently, Mr. Thong serves as the Group Managing Director of University Bookstore Malaysia, UBSM, a name synonymous with quality education resources. UBSM, established over 6 decades ago to serve Malaysia's pioneer universities such as the University of Malaya and the National University of Malaysia, UKM, which has flourished under Mr. Thong's visionary leadership. Today, it stands as the market leader in the K-12 segment for all print and digital products distribution in Malaysia and the Southeast Asia region, with a specific focus on the UK IGCSE curriculum and IB segment. Beyond his role at UBSM, Mr. Thong is also the chairman of the Malaysian Book Industry Chamber, MBIC, a prestigious organization that unites 5 key book publishing associations in Malaysia. His tireless dedication to the Malaysian book industry is evident through his leadership in MBIC. Mr. Keith's passion for education goes beyond his professional endeavors. He actively champions educational activities through his involvement in NGOs, such as serving as the Country Education Director in the Rotary Club KL Dynamics, being a trustee in the Malaysian English Language Teaching Association, MELTA, and contributing to the Methodist Boys School KL alumni. He also acts as an industry advisor for the University Negeri Medan in Indonesia and serves on the Faculty of Language and Linguistics at the University of Malaya. Furthermore, he is a board member of the Talent Committee for the Internet Alliance Network and holds the position of Master in English Language Studies at Southern University College, Malaysia. Today, we have the privilege of benefiting from Mr. Keith Thong's extensive knowledge and experience as he delves into the topic of professional EdTech ELT learning resources in context. His insights promise to shed light on the ever-evolving landscape of educational technology and English language teaching resources. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in extending a warm welcome to Mr. Keith Thong Yuet as he takes the stage.
Okay, very good morning and welcome everyone. It's good to be back. The last time I'm in Institute Aberdeen Market was 20 years ago. I still remember one fellow carrying about 30 cartons of books to exhibit for one of the functions. But my main intention to come here is actually to visit Sudut Dr. Chiu Tao Yao, which is my pastor actually, one of the first director of IAB. So that was that. Alright. Okay. Thank you very much. I know that most of the sessions are for professors, doctors, and a lot of academicians sharing. So your committee have actually requested I share from a practitioner perspective. Alright. I serve in I think my introduction was just so long actually. I wish I could use more time to share more with you. But then again, we from the corporate and commercial sector actually, we don't really have a kind of a safety net. If you make a mistake, jobs are gone and businesses close down, right? Just like an example, COVID. Some of us pay the installment for 20 years, and COVID hit. By the time you pay your last installment, you give the whole amount to the bank for what you lost, all right? And there are some leaders also like they planning retirement already. They intend to leave a lot of wealth for the family, but because of the incident like that, instead of leaving wealth, they leave that to the family. So no forgiveness or whatever. You just have to do your very best with whatever resources you have. You survive, right? Now today's session is that I'm going to share an overview of some of the case studies that we have around the world. My background is I serve in a lot of consultancy with various government segment, especially Indonesia, Thailand, some Malaysians, NGOs, all right? And the main thing that I do is mainly in the international school. Now, international school, the people are the fluent society, basically. Whatever best and whatever happening in the US, UK, now more emphasis on the Asian countries like even China, India, and stuff like that, you don't need a crystal ball to see the future because every one of them is in the future. Whatever they have done, wherever it is, they want it now and it be implemented now. So several case studies for you. Okay, today I'm going to cover like a few segments of some of the programs that has been implemented successfully, right? Like say English learning programs using a video-based media solution, all right? Some covering curriculum, some on English assessment, some on creative methods of teaching English that is off the out of the box or something like that. So these are some of the case studies actually. Okay, so the first program is learning English using video and media based. Now the thing is that in the past or even at the present moment, many of you use the traditional textbook. But then we did a pilot with the MCMC. All right, we went to Kelantan, I think Terengganu, Sabah, Sarawak, and explore like how would you like to learn English using video, using YouTube, or you go back to the traditional way of opening a textbook. Let's look at page 16, paragraph 3, or stuff like that. But from the feedback is almost 100% of the feedback is that I want creative media, I want fun, I want to learn on kind of my phone, my tablet, and we call it on demand. On demand, that means whenever I want. I can be a late bird, early bird, cuckoo bird, whatever bird. I have my inspiration at 3 a.m. I want to learn at 3 a.m. I learn at 3 a.m. So which is why this new trend of learning is very useful. Now in the international schools, a lot of them go to the Sekolah Kebangsaan or Sekolah Cina or Sekolah Agama or whatever for mother tongue, alright, to lay the foundation. And many of them, when they go to secondary school, they find that, hey, the rest of the classmates have already learned English the last 6 years, and I'm going to go into Form 1, and how am I going to catch up with everyone, alright? And many of these international school uses this program in year 7 or Form 1, and within 1 year, everybody is on par with those who have learned English for the last 6 years. Why? Because it's media. Alright? Now, one of the main questions we ask ourselves is that, why do I want to learn English? What is the purpose for you to learn English? You begin with the question, why, right? Like Simon said, they say, okay, do you want to learn English because you want to learn grammar, pronunciation, and all these English rules and regulations? Do you want to learn English because you want to talk to somebody? If you fancy somebody next door that only speaks English. I still remember, those days when we were younger, right? There's a lot of pretty girls in church, but we don't speak very good English, So what is the inspiration? I better speak better English and learn English better so that I can say hello properly and have a engaging conversation. But the truth is, it's very real. What the main draw is that attraction to the opposite sides, which makes you learn a lot of things, jump over mountains, swim over ocean to learn something to reach that person. Alright? So you just know the motivation. Or do you want to watch movie, you want to understand the movie better? Like say sometimes you watch a movie and your friend watch a movie, but because you're good in English, you absorb more, you learn more. The same 10 ringgit you pay for the movie ticket is worth more than your friend paying the 10 ringgit, right? Because you enjoy it more. Especially those who have done literature. Alright? The imagery, the themes, the character, the color, and all the stuff that makes a movie more enjoyable. Alright? Then the other thing is that you look at the global news, you want to travel to speak to people as such. Alright, the third function that is most of the time, especially in the academic world, is that you want to pass exams. Is it a TOEIC, TOEFL? OPIC is mainly for the what do you call it, speaking, alright, as well as TOEIC. So depending what is your purpose, where you want to go. You want to go to Commonwealth countries, you got to do your IELTS. You go to the American-based countries, you do a lot on TOEFL. And then the things that sometimes for English employability, you need a minimum to do 2 skills of TOEIC actually. So what is the purpose? Then also the most widely practiced is business English, because business drives the world. Now, sometimes you propose an English program to academic institution, they find expensive lah, difficult lah. But then when you find that you can't get business, you can't reach out, you can't move into the global community, you can't sell your things globally, that's where business English comes about. People learn to present properly, learn to communicate properly. Like say, my cousin, alright, graduate from one of the top universities in Bangkok. But after she graduated, she applied for a job. There's one job, 4,000 people applying for it. So she came to Malaysia, studied 1 year intensive English. When she go back, there are 400 jobs offered for her. And the company never let her go until 20 years already, because she controls the export department. You know, how powerful English is when you do it right. Okay, and the other thing is industry specific. Like say many of us in the practitioner world, all of you are English teachers, but to a normal person, to a normal layman is that I don't want to be an English professor. I don't need to be super in English. I just need to learn English that I can cari makan. I can survive. I can do business. So if you're from a military, I give you English for military. If you're from the tourism department, I give you English for tourism. If you're from insurance, I give you finance as such. So specific to the industry that in context where you're going to apply it for, because ultimately it's dollar and cents. Can you earn a living by having the English that you need? Alright? Okay, now in the international school, the thing is that many of the students, they never care whether the parents work hard or how difficult it is. Father do insurance, people say, people scared of my father, every time open the mouth and share insurance. Alright? My mother opened a souvenir shop. She need tourists. If the tourists don't come, we cannot go for the trip or something like that. So when the school actually put the module, like say my father is an insurance agent, I put the insurance and finance module into this child's account. We give them a test to know what is the level, elementary, intermediate, advanced, or map to the CFR. He learns with a perspective of knowing the family business. And the other one, I give the tourism module and stuff like that. The parents are so happy. They find that at last, my child is interested in what we do. And sometimes they say, Mom, your copywriting very bad. Cannot do like that. You should do like this. And then we copy this video clip from YouTube and put it there. So it has meaning. All of a sudden, they have meaning. And the thing is that sometimes the kid is not interested in taking over the business. But because they have a catalyst that get them interested, there is hope. In fact, a lot of parents are very happy with this. Now, the concept is very easy. Alright? There are tens of thousands of videos. You watch the video. Alright? You learn the vocabulary. And then you speak. Now, one of the most powerful thing is speaking. A lot of people, I learn English, but I got nobody to practice. And then sometimes I speak to my friend laugh at me. You apa ni, nak jadi orang putih ni, huh? England, you know, that kind of thing. But when you are behind the computer, and then you have the intelligent speech recognition, you speak, the system auto mark and give you the score instantly. And then you can listen to your voice. Sometimes, right, when you speak to people, you don't know how you sound like, but you play the playback of your voice, I sound like that one. That kind of thing. So you know, so you can practice, and people keep practicing. All right. So the other thing is, you have an option to pay a premium to go live. What it means by go live, you have 200 to 300 teachers online where you can look at a profile, you can book them to have a 20 minutes conversation based on the video that you are learning. But now it's even better. Now they incorporated artificial intelligence. They have a bot, Mimi. All right, just launched this month. Mimi will talk to you based on the video that you have just watched. When you watch the video, you talk to Mimi. Mimi will ask you a question and you will respond accordingly. All right, and it will be within the context of that video and the learning objective that you are indulging in. All right. Sometimes you try to stress the machine. We stress Mimi. We tell Mimi, Mimi, are you a boy or a girl? Mimi said, I'm a machine. Don't ask me whether I'm a boy or a girl. Mimi, are you beautiful? Can I ask you for a date? Mimi said, no, please stick back to the lesson. Don't do any other thing. Stick to your lesson. Even the machine will teach you. So it's really, really fun to do that. So this is one of the programs that is widely used. Now, generally, there's a video library, there's a learning management system, intelligent speech, and teachers' tools to help you. Now, one of the good things is when a kid or student that you have taught, the parent come in, has my girl improved? Yeah, good. I think the other improvement is good. I think she has improved. But what basis, what measurement, what is the evidence that your daughter has improved since joining your organization? Everything is recorded, right? The way she speaks before she joins you, and the way she speaks later on, how many vocab she has learned, how many sentences has she practiced, what is the CFL level has she has grown. It's all measured, all right? And one thing for sure, if you work hard, you do your work, it's guaranteed that you will progress, okay? Oh, I would like to share with you an example of how it's been applied or practiced. Like in the 2020 Olympics, the Japanese government gave a lot of this program to the citizens because we are mapped to 200 industries. So whatever industries you are, we give you the module to speak to people in English, to engage in a meaningful conversation. So it's very useful. Depending, let's say you're a teacher, tomorrow you'll be given a class to teach in Bank Negara. Well, you use the module that is for finance. Tomorrow you'll be given a class to teach the police for the matter. Like say, a group of police inspector asked me to teach the class for them. They said, the people cross the border and then they complain that my policeman is rude and not very helpful and arrogant and stuff. But actually we are nice guys, but the problem is many of us don't speak English. So how? So we design a program that is for policemen. So when people ask you a question, oh sir, you should go for this direction, and you have to dress up because it's our culture that people have to dress up properly. When you visit my country, you have to respect my culture. Not everything the tourist or whoever does, hey, tak boleh, but you now give people an answer or reason why tak boleh. Is it not? So when you apply it to the specific segment and the target audience, it will definitely have results. For example, the Sarawak government tells us we have a lot of tourists coming to the library, but my librarians English a little lacking. Can we have an English program for the frontliners? Sure. We just have a series of programs engaging tourists, having a basic conversation and stuff like that. And all the frontliners does this program. And they just did it one time round. And everybody is fluent and can welcome the tourists already. So this is an example of application. Now this is an example that we applied in Thailand. Now the Thai king actually finds that the thing is that English is very important. Do you know that in whole of Southeast Asia, the highest consumption of English language textbooks is Thailand, actually. Thai buy the most books, more than Singapore, Malaysia, and anywhere else, because of the tourism industry. Alright? So the Thai king wants more students learn, but a lot of students don't want to use their own time to learn. Weekend, they go work in the pubs. Anywhere in Thailand there is pubs for them to work. They make 200-300 ringgit a weekend, which they're very happy. They refuse to go and learn. But what they did is that they hired the most influential social media influencer or educationist influencer. We gather 1,000 students in a class, everybody given EduSync test to know what's the level, and after that, everybody given this English Central program. You choose the faculty or the topic kegemaran Anda to do, alright? And this is an example of what they did. Now, they actually you see what they do is that how do they reach the people? It could be using a Thai fairy tale, a kind of a Thai greeting, or kind of a what I call that, their rasa sayang in Thai and stuff like that, and they apply it accordingly. Whatever way you can reach the student, you reach them. Now the thing is that normally first day everybody give an allowance, 1,000 people will turn out. The next day maybe 50 will turn out. The rest of them will disappear in the pubs or something like that, right? But this time round, more than half turn out because they know that English can actually change your future. English will give you a ticket to the international world actually. Alright? So this really matters to them. And you know what? After we implemented this, the next week, COVID happens. Nobody works in pub anymore. There's no pub for 2 years. And they realize this is disruptive. And aren't you glad you actually had this session? You learn English, you can sell things, handicraft and stuff like that to the rest of the world because you have English. Right? This is an example of a case study. Okay, the next segment is the English assessment. I'm going to share 2 cases with you. One is mainly for the international school graded exams. Like say this is what we call the Lit Pro and Lit Pro library. I won't go into details because of the time factor. Now the most important thing is that what this thing does is that whether you understand what you read. It's a measurement of reading comprehension. Alright? It doesn't matter whether the text is long, the text is short, the maturity of text matters, and whether you actually understand what it matters. And in the end, there is a measurement called Lexile measurement. How many of you know what is Lexile? Can I have a show of hands? So few of you know. Actually, Lexile is very important. That means, right, sometimes, right, we could be Jago Kampong. I'm the best in my class. But when I go to the world stage, I get kicked out of the stage almost immediately because I just compete globally. Alright? Now, say if you did a Lexile test, you score 700. What does this mean that you score 700? That means you're standard 4 in the globe. If you go to America, Australia, UK or Singapore to study now, you're standard 4. Alright? The thing is that, and we need to measure your progression whether you know. Now, in the past, in the US, a lot of them, this program is introduced to the Ministry of Health. But because it's so important, it put in the Ministry of Education. Why? Because poor people remain poor. They sign stupid document that bind them for life. And every time they say, why is it like that? Yeah, you sign already, ma. Stick to the rules. But if you know, you understand what you're signing, what you're doing, what you're reading, you can actually protect your own rights. Alright? Your family rights, your future. So, which is why this is important to know your Lexile level. Alright? Now, we do a case study many years ago for the Convention Pendidikan. They say, why SPM, 1 year, everybody score A, and 1 year, the results are not very good. Then we say, give us the 2 papers that the year is good and the year is bad. We put it in the Lexile system. We find that one of the paper, the Lexile scoring is only 800. That means you're setting SPM as 75 level. Another one is 1003, which is really high. So which is why that year people just cannot answer the question. Alright? So in the end, the program is just for academic evaluation. It's not practice as such because they know of the quality control, and sometimes we need to know the level of the students actually. Okay? So in the private schools, they do a lot of these things. Generally, it's an award winning, but then again, if you know the level of your Lexile after sitting for a 20 minutes test, what do? Yeah, I know I'm low, but what am I going to do? We have actually thousands of books, alright, prescribed, and the algorithm and the artificial intelligence, the AI follow you. What it means by that? Say if you score 700, okay, we give you the choice to choose the genres that you like. I may like romance, I may like non-fiction, alright, I may like thriller. So I put romance, non-fiction, thriller. then the system will automatically pick up those books of romance, non-fiction, thriller, based on your score, which is 700, they give you 700 to 900, so that there's a progression. Now, why is it important? Many of us now are reading manga, reading comics, because it's an easy way out. But manga and comics and so on, yeah, it's fun, you learn something, but the Lexile level is actually very low, 200-300. And when you read serious stuff, you may have a problem in the future doing that, right? There was once, I still remember, when I was in Form 1, I told my dad that I want to stop studying already. I don't want to study. I'm hopeless. I just can't help. I got learning disability. I can't understand this page that I'm reading. I need to use the dictionary to find 30 words. My dad said, what are you reading? Oh, the English jurisprudence. My dad said, shit, you're already Form 1. That is University Law School 2nd year. Why you want to kill yourself by reading something that is English jurisprudence and stuff like that? Forget about it. Read something at your level, because then we read something too high. Okay, so which is why the Lexile measurement is important. In fact, many of the international school, I think the grade A international school, all the books are color coded and Lexile, right? Depending on the level, the age group that you are. Now, why is it important? Sometimes when we send our kids overseas, is my kid English level or worse standard, or will he struggle, or will the people laugh at him when his English not good, and he'll be having the kind of mental stress to keep up with the classmate that English is a native language. So this is some of the examples that can be done. All right. Now, this is what I've shared before, and then there's a lot of really cool kind of notes over there. Now the process is like this: you sit for the test. Then books will be prescribed for you to read. Then later on, there will be a guide to check whether you actually understand what you're reading, alright? To measure whether you actually understand. And then after a few months, maybe one term or even could be 1 year, you sit for the test again, see whether you improve. But don't kill your students by letting them sit the test every week. You cannot be an English hero in 1 week time. Okay, it takes time. It takes time. It could be one term, one semester, or 1 year before you do the test. All right. So this is an example. Okay. EduSync. EduSync, we had a partnership with EDTECH. Thank you, EDTECH, actually, for helping us to do 2 years of studies together, and we finally accepted this program for the English teachers to do the test. Now, let me share with you a case study in University of Auckland. University of Auckland is one of the top universities in New Zealand. Now, what they did is that they have always been using IELTS, all right? And many a times, the teachers pay almost $200 US. Now it's equivalent to about 1,000 ringgit, all right, to enter the University of Auckland, because you need to a certain level, band 5 and above, before you can enter or stuff like that. So what they do is that many students, sometimes they fail. They say, I'm going to spend another 200 US to take the test again. And they keep on spending a lot of money. So when COVID hit, right, the thing is that the $200 is actually very expensive. And then because there's no foreign income, especially Chinese students and stuff like coming in, the income is low, they will need to let go a lot of the teachers, right? But then when we introduce this program to them, they also spend about 2 years with us on this program, and we actually charge them at 10% of the cost, and we give them 3 results. We give them the IELTS, TOEFL, and CFR mapping results. All right. And then the thing is that the university say, why do I need to agongkan online? I do it under my own university branding as my own university placement test. All right. And now every student, instead of paying 200 US, and the university will top up now 20 US for invigilation. Now all the students will only pay $100 US. And all the teachers that are supposed to be fired, we maintain them to be examiners and invigilators. Because from a cost center of minus 20, now become a profit center of positive $80 US. Alright? This is an example of disruption. What happens? Disruption. Then the thing is that this is the details of remote proctoring tool and so on and so forth. Now, generally in English tests, there's always like the 4 skills that we're looking at, all right? But then again, if you use the machine, all right, we always evaluate the writing and speaking element. Shall we use the AI? Shall we use the machine? or shall we use a real physical person? Actually, right, if you're good, right, you can actually cheat the machine. They ask you one question, you answer another question. But your English, your grammar, and everything is perfect. You can actually cheat the machine, all right, by answering another question. So that's one of the ways to cheat AI. But the thing is that what we normally do is that we have the writing and speaking done by real person. A real person like you, we call it warm body, all right? Some people call it warm wear or whatever, but warm body, that means the real person with blood, with warm blood moving. And then how do you get people to uh, be the examiner for the thousands of students that are sitting in? Actually, we devise a system. We Uberize all the TOEFL, IELTS examiner. We have thousands of examiners inside our portal. So when I say, okay, EDTECH, we have 500 students sitting for a test, we just post it up. The 1,000 over examiners say, oh, I'll take, they all take the job. All right, and we can do it in a very affordable manner. That's why the fee can be very low. But if the exams or the program is not that high stake, we can actually use it 100% artificial intelligence. But we have proctoring. All right. Now, what does it mean by proctoring? The thing is that besides the adaptive technology where they follow you, that's how AI works, right? The proctoring is that we actually let you take a photo of yourself, take a photo of your ID, all right, and then they compare yourself and the ID. We take a 360 view of your room so that nobody is in the room to help you when you don't know how to answer. Then you set the level of the degree of proctoring. Basic proctoring, intermediate, advanced proctoring. Like say if your eyes looks elsewhere, they red flag you. Please concentrate. Don't try to get inspiration from somebody else. Last time, right, some of the tests, right, you can have your friend sitting under the table and you read the question out. Then your friend at the bottom answer the question for you. You know, actually this kind of program, right, is designed by those people who used to be very poor. They always go and sit for interviews and exam for the rich people. So they know how to cheat the system and what they need to do, and they're finding all these things to the proctoring system, so that depends on the level of proctoring, how serious and how high stakes exam. So this is an example. Generally, after David will show you some of the application and how it works. I think all of you who have registered, we may get permission from the publishers to let you all do all this online exam free, and access to all the things that I'm sharing today, so that you know what is going on, because this is actually happening all around you, all right, in the private sector, in the corporate. Okay, so I won't go into the details, all right. Now, another case study is Prof. Aslam and I, we were doing some talks in Lembaga English America in Indonesia, all right. So we've been teaching them about how to feed the machine, how does machine learning works, education technology, and stuff like that, right? We do the tech part, he do the human inspiration part and such. So we've been sharing with the Bagalia. Then later with pilot, we give them an opportunity like Palembang, Bali, Jogja, Jakarta, to test out all the TOEFL, IELTS, CFR tests and stuff like that. So they go through, and when they do that, right, they find that, hey, the mic is not working, the camera not working, everything not working, because they don't see a need for it to work, actually. So when COVID hit, also we just did that tour just 1 month before COVID hit. The CEO called us and said, it's a sad day, I'm the first woman CEO to lead the thing, and we may have to close down 50 centers, and 70,000 teachers are gone because of this. It's a sad day. They'll say, ma'am, why don't you do all your assessment and tests online? Because nobody knows, nobody has the system. You will be monopoly, because IELTS, TOEFL, everything closed. They say, yeah, why not? We got nothing to lose. And what they did is they converted all the centers into online centers. And this actually saved the whole organization. And each time we go to Indonesia, they treat us, they buy us, and whatever, for being thankful for helping the organization transform. Then later when we went back, they said, man, how many of those 70,000 teachers actually go overseas? They think, yeah, maybe only less than 1%. then why do you need to sit TOEFL, IELTS, and so on and so forth? They are not going overseas. And your brand is the biggest in your own country, just like how Auckland does it. You saw Auckland, their brand is bigger than any of the other English class brands. Why don't we do white label like Lembaga Lia employability certification for English? And they did that, right? So immediately from passing a TOEFL and IELTS, they brought the cost so low, all right? And what we do is that rather than you fail and you pay and pay and pay again, we let you practice the whole year. Whenever you're ready, you sit for the test. If you fail, we give you a second chance. You don't pay again. So this is disruptive technology again. It helps save thousands and thousands of people, and you give the opportunity to the poor teachers to know where is the English standing and how they can actually improve. Alright? This is an example for Indonesia. And what they did is that they actually have the head. Each and every town unit, they have schools, and schools that have classroom, and the CEO and the management actually knows each and every student, how they do, how they perform and such. When I asked the Ketua Pengarah, tell me about Palembang, this segment, this school, this unit, this student, she just go to the system, click, oh, your daughter, right? As though you are God, you see the whole thing and every individual that's in the system. Because the system can actually track everything, right? It's very good for senior management level as well. Alright, for curriculum-based learning, it's like some of the key factors you need to know when you are going into a curriculum-based or e-learning or online learning. These are some of the things. Is the class going to be synchronous, that means real time? Is it going to be asynchronous? You do it in your own time, in your free time? Is it going to be self-paced or is timetable where everybody learns at the same time? These are some of those considerations you should look at. And is it going to be student-led? Is it teachers-led? Nowadays, a lot of celebrity, they pre-record their videos, right? And you attend the course, you pay $5,000. Actually, you are not looking at the real person, it's pre-recorded. And after that, they get all the master students to actually lead the class, all right? And the classes goes on, and they keep on churning out money. Actually, we should do something, you know, like EDTECH should do something, and you could actually have your most inspiring teachers pre-recording something. Sometimes, maybe at the end of the session, the real person comes up and answers some questions and stuff like that. But whatever presentation is all pre-recorded, and people can learn in their own pace, okay? Then, is it a classroom setting, individual, or can you actually interact with the content? Is there an AI element in content that helps you, talk to you, and guide you? When you are lost, you don't know what to do next, you hang on for 10 seconds, the system will come up. Do you need help? How can I help you? How can I help you to progress? You know, something like that. Okay, we are sharing, like say this is a program called Too Simple. It's used in 90% of the schools in the UK. Why are they so successful? Now, one of the things that they are very successful is that they have thousands and thousands, like 3,000 over program for maths, English, science, and so on and so forth. And they agongkai the teacher. They make the teacher awesome and fantastic. Say, if I'm teaching an English class, all right, tomorrow I have 1,000 English program and software ready. The student, you see what is going to happen tomorrow, all right? You'll be surprised, and every student will thinking, wow, tomorrow is going to class, and my teacher may teach about handwriting, all right, or teaching us to create a story, or teaching us email, write to Anwar Ibrahim, your prime ministers, and tell him how he should run the country from an 8-year-old perspective or 15-year-old student, all right? But you don't actually send to Anwar Ibrahim, you actually send to teacher, all right? So the teacher will judge and guide. So they find it meaningful, they find it practical, and each time, right, the students will find meaning and they will come back over and over again. And throughout their life, right, when they go back to the kampong, go back to the teachers, they will actually show all these things and apply it accordingly to their own local setting. Okay, there's a lot of other reading program. All right, now this is out of the box, something different that we shared about using music to teach English. All right, now sometimes, right, we use another method. You ask this fellow to learn English, no. But what we did in one of the schools, this is paid by Khazanah National. We actually teach them how to broadcast in English. So the guys and girls will go back and practice 100 times because my voice is going to be on air. And in the audience, somebody I'm interested may listen to my voice. So they practice and practice. So we teach them like DJ skills.
Okay, alright. Okay, being a DJ, being a live DJ, being a live DJ, there's the rules of playing it.
So they learn about the presentation method.
There's two girls like you.
And then they start a radio station in the school. Alright? And they announce whether practicing Malay, practicing Chinese, practicing English, they do that. Now another thing is, some students don't even speak English at all. But when they sing English song, you'll be super amazed. Like for example,
I feel like I'm ready for love. Harimau kasih cinta untuk segalanya.
So the thing is, that student doesn't really speak English, but you look at the way she sings, you thought that she's named by Zura or something like that. And when we got her voice recorded, 7 media station immediately tried to book her to be the up and coming star. Yeah, I don't know English, I don't really know a lot of English, but after SPM, I just learned a bit of English and I like to sing. I sing like that. The other guy sang in Malay and stuff like that. So this is another alternative approach that sometimes you use the traditional textbook method and all the academic approach. They just don't want to learn. But if this appeals to them, it may work, actually, you know. Okay, so finally, just give me 5 minutes to talk about this thing. People ask, okay, all the tag and stuff like that, later on we'll give you access to all this tag, and I hope that you enjoy it. But the important thing is that pay attention, make your observation, jot down notes and stuff that you have to know, because this is already happening in all the private school and international schools. You can't say later on when now we're doing a lot of training for JPN, PPD and stuff like that, and they will be adopting this. You can't say that tomorrow your student is actually going to teach you about these things, then it'll be an embarrassment. Like in Singapore, when they go digital, a lot of senior teachers take early retirement because they keep on being taught by the students. It's very, very stressful. Alright? But one thing you have to note is that technology will never, never, ever replace teachers. But teachers who use technology will replace those teachers who don't use technology. And another thing is, you have to note that technology is supposed to make your life good, make your life easier. If technology is going to make your life more miserable and you're going to learn so much and do so little, then you must well don't do it. Alright? So if you notice all the trend, right, all the world-class tech, why they're doing well? Because they make it very easy. Very easy to apply, very easy to approach. It's no-brainer. Alright? So it's very, very easy for you to learn. Don't wait until OH to really start learning. It's a journey, but even though you're OH, so what? If some old guy present tech to me, it's damn cool actually. You know, you say, wow, the fellow 80 years old teaching me tech. See, lifelong learning, example of lifelong learning. So another question we always ask is that, is print dead? Print is definitely not dead. In fact, print has bounced back much harder and much better after COVID. The print sales of books has grown tremendously because nothing beats print actually. Alright? But then again, print have to pivot a bit. They may use some X factor to do print. Like say for example, newspaper and education. Alright? This one I'm going to go very brief, but maybe you can do another session. Like the last Malta conference, we talked to people, and some of the conference is that nowadays, right, our students cannot read the New Straits Times, Star, Jakarta Post and stuff like that. Even some of us admit it, you're lazy to read because it's so long and so many pages and stuff like that. You rather watch the YouTube or something like that. Alright? So reading has deteriorated. But what we did is that we actually go back to the traditional China days where the emperor says, I have one princess and I have one prince. The prince and princess don't have time. All the eunuchs, the academician, you read all the world news We summarize for the prince and princess because they don't have time. This is exactly what we did. We employed 30 editors in London to aggregate news from all over the world every month and produce 26 pages so that the students will read in bite size. We want them to learn about every aspect in life. It could be current affairs, it could be editorial, it could be STEM, it could be English, it could be geography, it could be history and stuff like that, all in bite-sized manner. Alright? When you speak to the academician in Brunei, they say, bro, this one I've been studying 3 years on my PhD on this, and you have actually done this. Can we get this implemented to whole Brunei actually, right? But the things that we're still waiting for, he just changed job, but we're just waiting to be implemented. But sometimes this is a fantastic idea. Then we said, how could we actually improve this international product that has been circulating all around the world, especially in China, Hong Kong, and Singapore. That is the main thing. Because if you look at the teams and PISA, who wins it every year? It's always Singapore, Shanghai, and Hong Kong. Why? Because these are like relatively smaller population, especially Singapore and Hong Kong, right? They need to win the PISA. If not, right, teams and PISA, if not, they have so few population. They need to export to 50 or 100 countries. They have to win. They make sure that it has to be attractive. All right. Singapore have about 30,000 babies a year. Malaysia have 600,000 babies a year. All right. But we have a lot of wealth, with a lot of minerals, with a lot of natural resources. But they pride themselves as one of the best human resources. When it comes to human resource and giving money and building human resource, the model insan of the generation, they won't stinge on it. They spend a lot of money on that. So do get a free copy outside as a sample and stuff like that. And later we will do a course on this, on how it's been applied in all the schools actually. The other thing is that we actually have BBC Earth. BBC Earth basically, we are leveraging on big brand, but it's a very, very difficult magazine. It's at least Form 5, Form 6. But the good part is you have teaching manual for every one of the modules. And the Sarawak government actually, through University of Technology Sarawak, they actually got this program, all right, and they give to every secondary school in Sarawak. And the teachers actually in UTS, actually they conduct online classes so that they learn. There will be a lot of interesting things. Now the thing is that basically BBC have many companies, but the most successful companies is science, history, and nature. But we being Asians, we're not going to buy 3 magazines or buy 3 magazines to read so much. We want the best to be combined into one, and we just want magazine. And we want all the best features of the thing to be given. You can actually have a look at the samples outside as well. Alright. And finally, we look at 2 programs. One program is that graphic novels to teach difficult subjects like STEM. Alright. Singapore especially, they are very afraid that the young generation, we are talking about mental health. When a child cite mental health to you, you will surrender straight away because I'm stressed. Mom, you want me to die? Right? So the thing is that, but if everybody finds every difficult subject like STEM and don't want to continue reading, what will happen? We will lose out, right? So what they did, since 3 years old, they converted all the difficult subject like STEM, science, maths, and so on into graphic novels. They have 80% graphics novels and 20% non-fiction to help them to read. Now, why is it important? To build a confidence. Like say a 3-year-old, say, Mommy, the chichat dropped the tail. Will the chichat die? Mommy said, I don't know, you tell me. Come, Mommy, it's a decoy. The fellow will come back and fight again. Let's draw the chichat tail together. The 3-year-old feels good and he likes science. Then the 5-year-old will tell Daddy, why do you kentut? Laugh away. They said, you kentut because of that. Why do you brush your teeth? And an 8-year-old may say, Mommy, my jaja, no, tell the grandma, Nene, my jaja can sleep with the eyes open during lecture. Well, how is it possible? I read in science literature, she got a goldfish effect. What is the goldfish effect? Goldfish has no kelopak mata. The eye is always open, but sometimes not recording. That's why it's goldfish. So the grandma said, yeah, I believe you because I tell your grandpa 5 items, he only remember 2 items. The 3 items he don't remember because he's not recording. He's like the goldfish also, right? That's what the teacher do. So they all laugh as a family, but the 8-year-old feels so good about herself. So she'll delve into more reading in science and technology. Now, finally, we have a I Love Reading program. What we did is that we use a lot of big data. We talk about big data in education. But what does it mean to us as such? So, we categorize, like, say, upper primary, lower secondary, upper secondary. What are you searching on the internet? Right? That is your permintaan hati. That is what you want to know. And by looking at all this big data that you're searching on the internet, our publishing program will base on your data that you're searching. Say, for example, one of the years, it's a very hot year, and everybody have pimple. The standard 456 will say, "Ayo, how to get rid of pimple?" Everybody is searching about how to get rid of pimple. We published an article on pimple. When you use Oxify, when you use Oxypen. If I have a secondary infection, what do? If my mom has money, can I do laser and stuff like that? They will hafal and remember the whole article and stuff like that. And not only that, we do a kind of a spillover where basic hygiene. Hot days, right? You feel sweaty, right? Bro, you stink, man, bro. Cannot. So how do you keep basic hygiene? How do you wash your clothes so that you don't become stink and so on and so forth? So when you do that, right, how can they not read? They will read. And not only that, teachers don't have time. Every magazine, we have worksheets, we have a QR to go into podcasts, QR to go to YouTube, and not only that, we plan you to score in your exam paper. We identify which article is argumentative, which article is reflective, and so on and so forth. So you can identify the patterns and how the exams come out. There will be articles where a student write the article, and we have the editor or the chief examiner showing how your examiner would have written the article. Why is it sometimes you go to an exam and find that, hey, I put a lot of points, how come this fellow writes so short article, score A and I score C? Because she has every point that is worthy of giving marks, and you don't have it. You just cakap banyak but no content. You say a lot but there's no substance. But this person say a few things, but exactly all the points there justify for me to give you the marking scheme and the thing as such. So everything is there. Because when you're a teacher, you're not only a teacher when you are in the institution. Everywhere you go, you balik kampung, oh, ni cikgu ni, can you tell us a story? Can you do a class? You have to be ever ready. Because it's a life calling. It's not a one-off thing as such. So this is essential. We can give you samples as such. So this is my contact. If you want to contact me or go to a website, be friends with all your speakers that speak, see what they do. If it's something that is suitable and it may be applicable in your local setting, contact us. If we have time and we can accommodate, we'll try to support you and help you so that you can bless the community that you are. And one of the last point that I want to make is that, still remembering Institute Aminuddin Baki, my imam that was the first director here, Dr. Chiu Taoyao, right? He tells me, you work hard every day, but get your vertical relationship right. When your vertical relationship is right, your horizontal will fix itself. Alright? And sometimes you work very hard, you are a teacher, you try, I can't get the promotion, I can't be famous, I may not be a mentee. But one thing I put as a kind of guide in my life is that when I play, when I teach, when I do everything, I put 100%. And those of us who believe in God, we always say that my potential is God's will. Because if I live within God's will, how far I'll be, whether I'll be a mentee someday, whether I'll be a great someday, or whether I'll be a faithful teacher serving this community here someday, is His will. So when you know the factor that human can't help you, alright, and you know that your life is precious and you've been taken care of above, you feel much better in every day in what you do, and you become very thankful for the position that you're in, that God has chosen for you. With that, I thank you very much for your time and attention.
Thank you, Mr. Keith, for the insightful and enlightening presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now arrived at the most interactive part of our session, where your engagement will truly shine. It's time to dive into the question and answer session. Now it's your opportunity to engage with Mr. Keith Thong directly and explore this topic further. However, due to time constraint, we won't be able to take more than 2 questions.
So anyone, any questions to ask or any case study want me to elaborate further? Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Mr. Thong.
Yep.
Actually, would you mind going back to your slide that has the to write and to create a story?
Okay.
Oh.
This one.
Next, yeah. I'm really interested in that, and I must have missed. Where can I download that, or do I have to purchase it, or?
Later get my email. I get
Okay.
somebody to contact you because frankly, this is just 3 of the 1,000 programs
Oh,
that you
amazing.
can utilize. So isn't it great to be an English teacher? All right. You see the things that I was doing a session with PPD Johor, and then the things that what worries the government now is that a lot of orang asli is not coming back to school. All right. But I find that a uh, very strong point in the sense that why is the orang asli not going to school? All you educated people, you send your kid to school. Don't go to school. You make sure that they go to school and stuff like that. But the orang asli don't need to go to school if they don't need to go to school. If your school is boring, not interesting, I won't go to school. So what do you do as an English teacher to make them come to school? All right, and this is the task that we're going to do with the Johor State government. We're looking at role playing, especially younger ones. We give them a role. Tomorrow you'll be the princess. You come up. Wow, I will dress up, tell my mommy, bathe properly, and tomorrow I want to play the role as a princess. I'll talk and play the role. Then we will actually have reading engagement. You read a line, you read a line, you read a line, and we will have fun. There's full immersion on all these things. So this is just one of the 1,000 program. I will open this portal to all of you.
Thank you very much.
So then you will explore and experiment for yourself. You may find some diamond that we have not discovered yet. All right. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next question.
Can we have one last question, please?
Any more? Okay, so if there's no more, what we'll do is that my colleague David will actually do a live demo for you on some of this English program that we have. And feel free to connect with us and write to us. Follow our social media channel, whether personal or company for the matter. All right, and we can connect after that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Keith, for your response, and thank you to our engaged audience for their thoughtful questions. Ladies and gentlemen, before we conclude this plenary session, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to our distinguished speaker, Mr. Keith Thong, for his invaluable insights and expertise. Mr. Keith, we would love to get to know Mimi better. We hope that Mr. David Chu will introduce us to Mimi during the workshop. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in extending our heartfelt appreciation to Mr. Keith Thong. Ladies and gentlemen, now it is with great pleasure that I announce our workshop